If you're in your 20s or your 30s, you have not peaked yet. Now, I imagine that's also true in your 40s and 50s and 60s, but I just haven't personally lived those decades yet. So, to be confirmed. Today I'm going to talk about why, even as a middle-aged man at 35, I still find it extremely useful to take a long-term view when it comes to health, to fitness, and to just habits in general. We'll talk about why training age is probably more important to you than your actual biological age. And in the background, we'll watch some recent workouts of mine where I hit some new personal bests on several different lifts. Now, these lifts are not impressive when compared to the best lifters out there. Not at all. I don't have any special talent for this. I'm just an average guy trying to get fit, but I'm super proud of the progress I've made as a person who's taken up physical fitness seriously in my 30s. I know I'm just getting started. And as a result of my training and lifestyle habits, my quality of life is just so much better than it used to be in my 20s. It's like night and day. Just literally everything is better. And it's freaking sick, and I want you to experience some of that as well. So drop a comment on what one of your recent personal bests is. I would love to hear from you. Okay, let's get into it. So I often hear people saying things like, "Oh man, once I hit 30, I started to have back pain. Gosh, I just woke up one day and now I have a beer belly. Oh man, ever since I hit 30, I get tired all the time. Man, I can't drink like I used to. I get hungover all the time." And it's time for a reality check. Those things do not happen just because you hit a certain age. Those happen because your lifestyle changed at a certain age, probably 5 to 10 to 15 years ago. The reason you have back pain is because you've accrued an entire decade's worth of sitting at a desk all day. You have a beer belly from 20 years of being relatively sedentary and drinking beer. You're tired all the time because your work capacity and aerobic capacity aren't fit for the regular challenges of life. I used to have all of those things in my 20s, and I have none of those things now. These things are both preventable and reversible. Obviously, there is something to biological age, and so it's much better to start now than to keep digging the hole deeper in a direction you don't want to go. So now let's talk about training age versus biological age. I like to use the example of Usain Bolt, as he's someone who reached the pinnacle of human athletic performance. So a quick overview of his career. Apparently he started training for running around age 12, but I imagine, like most kids, he probably had been running since he could walk. His absolute peak happened around age 23 at the Berlin World Championships in 2009, where he ran the fastest ever time in both the 100 meter and the 200 meter dash. Then he continued to be dominant for the next 8 years before retiring at age 31. So that's an awesome story. What an amazing talent, inspirational for us all. But I think folks often take the wrong lesson away from these peak performances that we witness, often in the cases of people in their 20s. Folks often think, oh, well, it's too late for me. I'm already past my prime. And so yes, his best performance was at age 23, but he continued to maintain an extremely high level, undefeated at a major championship until age 30. When Usain Bolt was 23, his training age was 11, if we count when he started formally sprint training. Although I would very much imagine that he did a lot of very fast running before that, even if he wasn't actually coached at the time. And then he retired when he had a training age of 19. So that's like a 20-year career in sprinting at the very highest level. Now let's compare that to yourself. You ain't that guy, pal. Maybe you're in your 20s or 30s, and you probably have less than 5 years of legitimate training age. So for you, it's still really, really early. You haven't already done what is required to bring you to your peak performance. You probably have decades of improvement left ahead of you. And your sport probably isn't sprinting. Maybe it's recreational weightlifting, or calisthenics, or trail running, or volleyball, basketball, etc. All of these sports seem to care less about biological age than sprinting does. And generally speaking, there's more technical growth and improvement to be had. There's a higher relative importance of software than hardware compared to sprinting. And so to look at population level data and then to conclude that since most world record performances in physical things happen somewhere between the age of 20 and 30, that's where yours will occur is the wrong conclusion. Sure, it probably would have gone down like that in some alternate universe where you started training young and did everything possible to maximize your progress, but in the real universe, the one that we live in, that didn't happen. You can't change your age, and you can't change your training age unless you haven't started training yet, in which case start today to maximize it. In the world we live in, it's going to take you 10 to 20 years of hard work to perform your best. I would also argue that you probably actually don't care much about literal peak performance. So Usain Bolt was the best ever, right? He set records that still stand, and he was so dominant that he never wanted to lose. So for him, a decrease in like 5% on his best performance was unacceptable. It makes no sense for him to continue running and blemish his legacy, even though when he quit, he was still capable of running some of the fastest times in history. But you and me, we're not that guy. No one gives a shit about my 150 kilo Zercher squat, or my 75 kilo push press, or my 37 kilo 5 rep max on pull-ups. They're not elite. They're not groundbreaking. I have no reputation to live up to, and no pressure for superhuman results. I don't need to retire at the top of my game, and I'm not gonna retire at all. But here's what I do have: a love for the process itself, and the knowledge that just continuing to try to improve, to get stronger, to build muscle, to build cardio, and just improve my overall fitness will continue to improve my life. It improves every aspect of it, and that will continue to be true even when I'm 90 years old and barely capable of half the things I can do now. Neglecting physical training will never be the better option for me, at no point. So even marginal increases now would still be worthwhile, because health is life. I'm not competing against anyone. Of course I want to beat my own personal records, but honestly, it's just to set the motivation and the programming for progressive overload. I'm honestly more invested in the process than I am in the results, because no one cares about the results of an everyday athlete like you or I. All right, it's go time. Finished my warm-ups and it's time to go kind of heavy. I'm gonna try this a little bit powerlifting style. So the weight I wanna hit is 140. I'm gonna try 131, which will be a PB of 1 kilo, then 140, and if I miss it, then we'll probably try again. And if it feels easy, maybe we'll go up. Wish me luck. One final point I want to make here is that many of the biological markers of aging that we associate with peak performance in younger athletes, these biological markers themselves are trainable or at least influenceable by our lifestyles. Our hormones are influenced by diet, circadian rhythm, and even exercise, so you can literally recreate the conditions for peak performance within your body's chemistry by training. Get your circadian rhythm in order by spending time in sunlight, by sleeping deeply and regularly and for a long time. Get the nutrients your body wants to grow and adapt by eating whole foods like meat, fish, fruit, and vegetables in abundance. Give your body the chance to adapt by lifting weights, by stretching, by doing cardio and sports outside. So back to me, I was basically sedentary until around age 26 when I discovered rock climbing, and it was about 4 years ago when I really started training with any intensity and consistency to actually start making progress. So my training age is very young. I've got a solid 15 years left ahead of me to shoot for personal bests, and that's gonna take me into my 50s. Honestly, that felt very manageable. I think I'm gonna rest 10 minutes and then try for 150. Thank you. And after that, even if I can't continue to improve my 1 rep maxes, I know that the next 30 years of my life will still be amazing if I stay active and I continue to challenge myself no matter what my absolute level is. So I hope this reflection on peak performance motivates you to get out there and get training, and to just take a longer term perspective on your life, on your habits, and on your physical fitness. You have almost definitely not peaked yet. So keep getting out there, keep getting after it. Let's get strong and flexible together. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.